A big mistake PhDs make when looking for jobs is opting out of decision making. Today, we're going to go into the hidden decisions you don't even realize you're skipping so that you can get yourself a great job you'll actually want and won't want to flee as soon as you start it. I'm here with Tori. Welcome. I'm going to introduce her in a sec, but let me start with me. I'm Jen, and I run a business called From PhD to Life. And I work with professors, postdocs, and PhDs who are ready to leave academia, but struggling to land jobs where they feel valued and respected. And Tori runs Academic Exit, and she helps social science PhDs exit academia and land marvelous industry jobs. That was my editorializing there. So today, as we mentioned, we're going to go into the hidden decisions that so many PhD job seekers opt out of to their immense detriment. And by the way, for those of you actively searching now, I have a awesome, if I may say myself, free webinar called How to Get a Great Job Outside of Academia, even if you have no idea what you want to do next or why anyone would hire you. And you'll find a link to that in the description below this video. So, yes, our topic. What are these hidden decisions that PhDs miss in their job searches? And I thought I'd start with a scenario here to invite you to imagine with me, like, what the heck I'm talking about. So, if you came out of a PhD program like mine, this might resonate. So, back in the day, I thought that the thing that I was meant to do in the world was to look at, the job ads in the Chronicle of Higher Ed or, whatever the correct publications are for you, find every single one that was at all relevant to my fields, subfields, right? And apply to them wherever in the world they are, right? And so I, I feel like an ass, right? But you know, so there were jobs like in small towns in the US. And what I ended up not applying for them. And Tori, you'll get this. I felt like a complete asshole for not applying to those jobs, right? Because academic culture had me think that this was the thing that I was meant to do. This was what I was good for as a person in the world. Am I making sense?
Absolutely. Well, because we're talking about PhDs opting out of these career choices, right? The choice of what do they want to do for work? Where do they want to do it? And academia conditions this, right? It
Like,
conditions
here
us.
you go. This is what you want.
Yeah, take any job that's offered. This is the one true path. And if you're off that path, you are a failure, right? It really sets up that dynamic where the reality of job searching is much more individualized, much more customized. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But I don't blame folks for this mentality because academia conditions it. At the same time, it's really limiting in a job search if you're not making those decisions, if you're opting out of those decisions.
Yeah, it's like this idea that you have to go where the jobs are. And what happens when folks suddenly it's like a flip switch when people realize like, oh, actually it is helpful for me to decide in advance where I want to live and that it's not anywhere in the continental USA.
You don't want to move around the world to take that academic position? How dare you?
Yeah. And actually, it's harmful, right? In a lot of cases for job seekers, when, let's say like on LinkedIn, when you put your location as United States, why that's not helpful. Tell why, Tori. I know you know this.
That's not going to attract the jobs in the place you want. That's a little too generic.
Yeah, like recruiters, right? When they're searching for candidates, most time they're going to be searching for people in specific locations, right? So if you know where you want to live, like make that decision. Make that decision.
Well, and what I would emphasize is you have a right to make that decision. Academia conditions this scarcity mindset of, okay, I got to take any job I'm offered. I should be grateful just for a job. But one of the things when you're starting to look outside of academia is you can opt into this choice that I get to choose. I get to set my own standards. Problem being, if you don't, you'll end up in some rock bottom standards jobs, some misfits. You'll let other people decide the course of your career for you. And I have done this multiple times throughout my career, and it has led to some real misfits. And so, only when I started saying, what do I want and how do I get there? Did I start to get jobs that felt like I enjoyed them more, that better leveraged my strength, because I started to take ownership of those choices.
People might be thinking like, but if I am too narrow, right? If I limit, where I want to live, if I limit the kinds of jobs that I'm looking for, if I'm too narrow in my search, then I'm limiting the opportunities available to me, right? And this is kind of logical. This is logical, right? But actually, by focusing much more narrowly than most people are, we're talking about outside of academia here, right? When you focus kind of pretty narrowly outside of academia, assuming there are actual jobs for you, uh, you are signaling to folks around you, multiple different kinds of folks around you, that you know who you are and what you want and what your skills are, what the value you provide is, right? To use that language, that is much more compelling to I'm a lifelong learner. I can do anything, which I'm not denying could be your reality, but that's not a compelling message for employers.
And so actually narrowing, here's the type of thing I want, allows the opportunity for better fit, but you've got to make those choices, right? Do a little research internally, externally to make those choices. And so it's funny, we've talked a little bit about why this is problematic, right? If you don't make these choices, you can end up in a career that someone else dictates. We're already moving into what you can do instead, which is take ownership of those choices. You get to decide whether to leave academia, where you want to go next, how you get there. That'll always be in dialogue with the rest of the world, right? There's going to be some interplay there between what you want and what can happen. But don't let some beliefs about the small realm of possibilities you believe to be the case constrain your wants, your desires. Have a notion of what you want, go out there and see what's out there, and then modify as you go instead of just letting the market dictate your choices.
I have a great client example for this that just came to me. And so a client, a postdoc, and she is on like a specific career track. I mean, right? So she comes to me, works with me, and she's like, I'm in research administration or development. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like I'm already on this track. This is what my CV looks like. Um, and what happened recently was that she applied for a job, got the interview, went to the interview, and felt kind of shitty throughout it, and realized subsequently she should never have applied in the first place because she was just going by what she should be doing given her past, right? Like, continuing on the roller coaster, whatever it is. And it was much more empowering for her to be like, well, first of all, I am removing myself from consideration. And second of all, I am not applying for that type of job ever again. Yay. Don't waste
Right?
time, right? Don't waste time.
Choice to set standards, choice to set a minimum bar of what you will accept. Because folks watching this, there are jobs out there that are a good fit for you that will meet those minimum standards. I know in academia, you might not believe that because there are what, 3 positions open in the faculty world this year, or like X% chance you're going to get tenure if you already have a job. So yes, you're in a place where odds are low, but once you take the full sphere of jobs available to you, there are jobs, and your task is to make choices about which ones you want to head towards. And so making those choices is a critical part, checking in with yourself throughout the process, something that I think we both see too many PhDs miss, and it really leads them astray and leads them into some jobs that are not a good fit for them. And they could have even told it during the interview, but some people just say like, oh, well, I had that crap experience. Let me just go ahead. And I've done that, right? I've had an interview where I could get a sense that there wasn't a good fit when I hadn't accepted the job. And turns out, yeah, there wasn't that good a fit. Like, trust your gut on this stuff because it will guide you in the right direction.
Love that, trust your gut. So awesome to be in conversation with you, Tori. Thanks so much. I want this to be a reminder that you get to decide what you want, right? Just like Tori said, even if it goes against what everyone around you thinks is right. You'll never have to worry about bad choices in your career, right? Because I know that's on the mind of some people. If you anchor your job search around your own goals and priorities, yours, right? Not someone else's. So, again, be sure to check out my longer webinar for lots more insights and advice. And yeah, thanks, everyone.